our happiness. Are you looking to maximize your happiness with dental insurance in or out of network? My name is Paul Dr. Nacho Goodman. I'm about to go totally out of network. Are you looking to maximize your happiness with dental insurance in or out of network? My name is Paul Dr. Nacho Goodman. I'm about to go totally out of network with dental insurance after 16 years of being a practice owner. But some of you are in network with 47 dental insurances. We can bond together and learn together about how to maximize our happiness, the happiness of our team, the happiness of our patients, whether you're in or out of network. We will be hosting the amazing Dr. Travis Campbell, owner, author of dental insurance textbooks, about how you can use dental insurance to your advantage, how you can get the best out of those benefits, whether you're in or out of network. This awesome CE on TV series is something you're going to be able to watch from your couch and learn. We're going to review the value of membership plans, the value of membership clubs. Is now the right time to drop insurance or not? During this amazing CE on TV show, how to maximize your happiness with dental insurance, whether you're in or out of network, Dr. Travis Campbell and Paul Dr. Nacho Goodman, that's me, are going to review how to manage dental insurance inside of your practice, whether you're an in-network provider or whether you're out of network. We're going to review common challenges most teams face when billing dental insurance. We are going to analyze whether staying in network with insurance or leaving insurance networks is right for you. We're going to also talk about how membership clubs can be an awesome addition to any practice, whether you are fully PPO or totally fee for service. Most of all, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be on Nacho CE on TV. To get a pass to watch this, just text Travis to 215-543-6454. Text Travis to 215-543-6454. This is going to be a two-part series, Friday, December 10th, Friday, December 17th. Watch in live, you'll earn live C. But you might be saying, I go to virtual Pilates at that time. No worries. If you sign up and register and pay, you are going to be able to watch this show for 30 days after it airs. Watch the recordings, Nacho on demand content. So if you have any questions about this, just email ce@dentalnachos.com. We'd love for you to be a part of Maximize Your Happiness with Dental Insurance. Okay, everyone, before we start our fun show, we have a very special guest to help me chat about the worst thing that is happening in dentistry right now. I want to welcome my friend, fellow dentist. I don't approve of any of the sports teams he likes, but I approve of him as a person, the awesome Dr. Bob D. Bob, tell us a little bit about your group and what you got going on this Sunday.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you again, Paul. My group is not too far different from what you have. We have a friendly professional group that consists of only dentists and dental students. And we'll just try to learn and support each other from each other and support each other, basically.
Love that. Love your whole vibe with that. And it's called Dentistry in General. Please share it in the chat. You can go to Facebook and search for Dentistry in General. You guys have great conversations going on in that group. So before we I want you to think about this the next 30 seconds. What you think the worst thing happening to dentists are right now. You've been a dentist for a while, so have I. I like to be a positive guy, but I don't want to be delusional. I have my mug here, Bob, from Maggie, positivity, please. So it doesn't seem like I'm starting off on a positive note. But while you're thinking about what you think the worst thing happening in dentists right now, I want to remind everybody that if you're looking for a job, you can just text in this number. We're going to text you back 150 open jobs. And if you're looking to hire an associate and would like our help, you can just text hire to 215-543-6454. Super easy. So Bob, what is your answer? What do you think the worst thing is happening to dentists right now?
To dentists in general, I think the high cost of dental education is the worst thing that I can think of. That is on
my top. I was a fan of the show Family Feud, maybe ages me a little bit. So that's up there. It's not the number one answer for me, but it's definitely up there on the board. My number one answer is declining dental insurance reimbursement. So let's just embrace this together. I've been a dentist for 19 years. How many years for you, Bob?
29. I'm 10 years
29.
away from you. Yeah, you and I are 10 years apart.
Yes. So I was working with my dad in the beginning, signing up for insurance plans. Amazing dad, amazing partner. They didn't really learn anything about the business of dentistry, but they knew about the business of being great people. My dad would admit at the end of his career and unfortunately end of his life that being a dentist was awesome and at times annoying. Running a dental practice became more complex over his 41 years in dentistry. One of the things that was frustrating, we have someone in the chat, awesome, Don, 50 years here. Insurance is in our area. And my wife is a teacher, Bob, and we took the teacher plan. They tend to be some of the worst in not increasing their fees. We were getting paid less from certain plans, even though the cost to deliver dentistry was more. So I'm not a mathematician, Bob, but it's kind of like eating ice cream on the treadmill. How do you manage and deal with the declining dental reimbursement in your practice?
You know, it's an interesting point you bring up. And I think there is a divide between my generation and the newer generation. I don't notice it because I don't think I'm subjected to it. I think I just posted on your group and my group that I got my first.
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't forget that post. They said, hey, Bob, thanks for being our partner. We're going to pay you 2% less next year. How did that make you feel?
Yeah. As I mentioned, there is like 2% doesn't bother me, although cost of living goes up usually 2 to 3%. This year, I think it's gone up 5 or 6%. Add that 2% to it, and that's all of a sudden a 7% decline. Yeah. But I think this affects the younger dentist a lot more, and I don't think my generation is aware of it. Like this morning, you posted something that dental offices will not be hiring younger dentists because they're tied to
this is where
fee schedule.
I'll share this. So I do a lot of videos, a lot of speaking. One of my tips is always kind of change your inflection or tone or tell people this is a really important thing to listen to. So Bob, you and I similar. They pay us a little less. It's annoying, but we have other patients and we really should care more, but we're too exhausted at a certain time. I am transitioning into being totally out of network after 19 years, but I was in the same boat. We got paid less, tried to deal with it. One of the biggest insurers on earth in 2016 sent me a letter saying, we're going to reduce your fees by 16%. I felt it was more like 20 or 30%, but I tried to make it work, Bob, right? I tried to figure out a way to make it work and it didn't work. So I got out of network with this giant plan. But my dental associate, when she signed up with Spoiled Guac PPO, her fee schedule was less than mine and my brother's. So let's say we charge $1,200 for a crown. They give my brother and I $1,000. I know they don't pay the full $1,000. They say to her, hey, Dr. Associate, you can only ever charge $800. How does that make you feel as a dentist that our newest colleagues can never earn the same as what we earned? And then they have zero control over it.
I think the bigger problem is what you mentioned, that me as a general dentist hiring an associate, if I hire a younger associate that is tied to a lower fee schedule, there goes the production in my practice. I mean, the value of my practice will come down.
Well, I'll share, Bob, and interject that those years that we had her and we still have her and she's awesome and we tried to deal with it, cost us minimum of $150,000 in revenue, minimum. And we just ate it. We dealt with it, but it doesn't make us feel great that we are supporting this insurance and we have been in network with them for years and our newest colleagues get paid less. It's a huge problem. And we finally put a stop to it this year. But what I want to share is somebody who runs Dentist Job Connect and love it. Someone just posted on the group, if I was to find you an associate and you took Spoiled Guac PPO, Bob, and your newest associate was going to get paid 30% less, would you consider not hiring them based on that?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a matter of dollars and cents, you know. If you're going to decrease the value of my practice, I'd rather add a couple of days myself and work harder. I'll shut down my group and work in my dental office.
But one of the, I'm doing a lot of content on this to prepare for something. One of the awesome advantages of adding an associate AAA is to manage your schedule differently, maybe not have to go in on a day, have someone help you check hygiene. And, you know, you're a sports fan, I'm a sports fan. At a certain point, our bodies are machines that wear out, right? So One of the people in the chat asked, the real question, I think, is what are many dentists so afraid of in relation to dropping dental insurance? Listen, I've dropped plans over the years, but up until this year, I've still been in network. So one of my fear has been losing patient volume and having to reduce how much my team can work. That has been one of my fears. If I was to drop insurance plans all four at once, I would have to reduce the hours of my team. What about you? What's your concern about shifting status with insurances?
I don't look at it as that. I don't look at it as fear. I don't look at it as a cookie cutter solution for every practice in the country. I think everyone needs to look at their situation, look at their market, look at their patient base, and see what's best for them. For me, I look at the fee schedules of these PPOs on a quarterly basis. If I'm not happy with one of them, they're gone.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to drop everything, because I guess I do have a fear. The fear is empty chairs.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a good point, and we're having an authentic conversation. I also want to point out, Bob, since we're talking face to face, sometimes it's funny. People say, Paul, you're the most positive guy I know. You're doing all this stuff. Then other people say, you're so negative, doom and gloom. Is what I said about the associate being paid less, was that doom and gloom, or is that the reality?
I'm pretty sure it's reality. I'm
right.
Totally out of touch with that.
That movie, Reality Bites. Remember, Reality Bites sometimes. But what I'll share is, I had a hybrid style PPO fee for service practice. You do too, pretty much, right?
Yes.
The person who I really understand and admire in my own way is the Tasmanian Maudie. He's Maudie. And let's just use an example. He does crowns for $600 a crown, right? Let's just use that example. And then I also admire and understand my good friend, Dr. Todd Fleischman, 3 blocks away, who inherited a totally fee-for-service practice and charges $1,900 a crown. Those worlds to me make perfect sense. What does not make sense is my own world many times. Sometimes we charge $1,400, sometimes we charge $900, sometimes a filling's $300, sometimes a filling's $150. I'm asking this because you're my friend and I admire you. How do you deal with that in your practice?
Personally, how I think of it?
Yeah, how do you think of it?
It's funny. At some point, you start looking. Like, I talk to my office manager and I told her what my bottom line is to get paid for certain things. If it goes below that, I cross the line.
Yeah, so, I like that.
Yeah. So
you have a bare ass minimum as to what you'll take.
Exactly. MetLife used to be very abusive when it came to fees for us goes. Conversations like this, that dentists talking about it, have made them realize that this is not the way. So now MetLife is one of our highest paid PPOs. So I believe these conversations will help, but I don't individualize every patient that say, this one is going to give me 800, this one is going to give me 829. I don't notice those things.
And I'm recording this because my goal in life is to kindly tell people I told you so, even my friends who I haven't met in person yet. But I think we could say this: there are companies and people or yourself that can help you negotiate your insurance fees. And it's very responsible into looking into making that happen. So I have sponsors of the group that do that. If you want to know my sponsors, just reach out to us and say PPO negotiating firms, or reach out to us at sponsors@dentalnachos.com. But whether you do it yourself, whether you do it with some random consultant, which I did back in 2016, I just had a one-man band consultant. That's at least a way to investigate getting paid more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know how I feel about these things. In the beginning, I was like, no way, I don't want to do that. But then I realized, look, I spent 3-4 months learning how the PPOs work, what fees were under what companies. And your sponsor and I are friendly, and we talk privately too. And he tells me, you don't know half of it. But at the same time, if you have the time to do it yourself, great. If you don't, yes, these younger dentists coming out and buying a practice may not know how these fee structures work.
I'll tell you what I did. I mean, this was before Dental Nachos. I paid someone $5,500 to work with our biggest plan, and he changed our life in the best way. Even though we're going on a network this year, over the past 5 years, what he's returned to us for not doing one extra second of work was massive. So we'll wrap up with this. We're going to move into the associate thing. You're welcome to hang in the background, but I want to ask you, Dr. Bob D, dentist of 29 years. If you were a dentist coming out of dental school or GPR, looking for an associate position, what are 2 to 3 tips you have as to what you would do if you were, you're a hard worker, you're a hustler. I followed your story. You have so much to be proud of. Pretend you're a new dentist now. What are 2 or 3 tips you would give these dentists coming out?
So looking or hiring?
Looking to get a job. Then we
Looking
might go
to
to
get a job.
we might go to the owner next. We'll go looking to get a job.
Yeah.
You're Bob D, new dentist 2021. You finished a GPR, you finished dental school, you're going out. What are some tips?
And I actually appreciate the conversations you and I have had publicly and privately. I've been educated on the matter. I don't claim to be an expert on this. I just know my own experience of what I did. And I think it still works. You just put your head down and work. You work hard, you work every day, you work 6 days a week, you try different offices, try to hone your skill as a bread and butter dentist, and then spend a lot of money on how to place an implant. I hate to see someone not be able to do an MOD, but now they can place a number 29 implant in there,
Gotcha. So work on fundamental procedures first. I like that. How about if you might not be ready yet, but let's pretend you are looking to hire an associate in the next year, 2 days a week to work with you. What are some of your thought processes as an owner? What are some things you're curious about? Maybe I could help you, but talk to your owner group out there.
And I also owed 100% of my thoughts today regarding this subject to you and how you educated me, is that most offices do not need an associate, most private offices, because they don't realize that to increase your production, you can't hire an associate, because if you do, then you're both not doing anything. And the associate is not happy, they leave. So I believe the first step for an owner should be understanding that you are going to make less money, but time you gain, and time is money. And that's how. And
it's this, if you want to watch some of my thing, but I know you have to go, but I'm trying to talk about it. It's the start to doing more of what you want, whatever that is. So you would tell me I should get a scanner for my office, right? I should get a scanner, but it's not going to make me money immediately, right? It's going to be a cost immediately. So CBCT cost money later, scanner costs money later. Associate, the same thing. You invest in it just like you do anything else with the long-term impact. And I just think that unless dentists really know their numbers and talk with their accountant, if you can't make $1 less, don't hire an associate. If you're making, I'm just going to use a number, $300,000 a year, but you're stressed, and next year you're okay making $250 with less stress, that might be a perfect need. So thanks, Bob. One more time, how can people find you or reach out to you?
Just search on Facebook groups, Dentistry in General, black logo. And I appreciate everything you've done for my
group. And please share your upcoming video thing in the Dental Nachos group. Thanks so much, Bob.
Have a great day. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Awesome, guys. Great chat with Bob. We're going to shift gears to our presentation here with a checklist for hiring the right associate. If you'd like help hiring an associate, just text hire to 215-543-6454. If you would like to look at our jobs that are listed on Dentist Job Connect, please text job to 215-543-6454. Someone in the chat saying, help, we're ready for an associate. Help is on the way. Just text hire to 215-543-6454 or text DJC, Dentist Job Connect, DJC to 215-543-6454. Member of our friendly Job Connect team will jump on a call, do a FaceTime, whatever you need, tell you how the program works, tell you what it costs, tell you what we can do. We also are giving out our free Super Boost recording. So if you'd like some free C that is amazing on clinical dentistry, practice management, how dental insurance works, patient communication, just text Boost to 215-543-6454. So it was 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and 70 New Jersey State police officers were staring at me. They all needed a dental exam. The New Jersey State Police have a brilliant model about how they onboard their New Jersey State police officers that can 100% help us with finding, recruiting, hiring, onboarding, implementing associates in our practices for awesomeness. I want to share with you this story and how you can apply it to your dentisting life. I want to give you a checklist for success. Create a dental practice observation-based boot camp, because at the New Jersey State Police, before you get to go to the real boot camp, they send you to a practice boot camp. And before they send you to a practice boot camp, they make you get seen by a dentist, an ophthalmologist, an ENT, an orthopedic surgeon to make sure you are ready for practice boot camp. So what I did was do dental exams on these amazing recruits, and I would check and see if they had an abscess or any significant problem where they would need to see a dentist before they went to practice boot camp. So I looked at the real New Jersey State Police officer, the guy who'd been doing it 10 or 20 years, or these awesome women who've been doing it 30 years. I said, why do you guys have this practice boot camp? Well, I don't understand. Why do you do this? They say, great question. What we realized was we were putting hours of time and effort into getting our recruits ready for boot camp. We were spending time, we were spending money, and they were going to the boot camp 8 to 10 weeks, and they were quitting after the second day, and we couldn't fill those spots. So what we do now is we get a bunch of them, run them through the process, and send them through a 2-day boot camp, because the real boot camp can be so strenuous and stressful and not for them that these recruits would literally give up on their dream of being a New Jersey State Police officer because it was too tough. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's awesome, because if you can test something out, test, don't guess, one of my favorite phrases, before you sign up for something big, that is the best system I can imagine. So how can we apply this to our dental offices? How about this? How about before you hire an awesome associate? And how about I tell you my own story of an associate I hired just a few months ago. I said, Dr. A, you are awesome. It seems like this is a great fit for you. But before you sign any contracts, before you decide exactly what percentage and what guarantee and all those things, just come to our office, wear scrubs, sign the HIPAA release form, and we want you to observe inside and outside the operatory. I want you to understand what it feels like to be in this office. Maybe we're too slow for you. Maybe we're too fast-paced for you. Maybe our team is not the right fit for you. Maybe we're awesome and we are the right fit. When you're here, ask questions, stay for a full day. And at the end of it, let's talk together and see what type of fit this would be for you. This, to me, is the best piece of advice I could give anyone who really wants to hire anyone. I would do this at my Dental Nachos organization too, but especially an associate, because nothing can go wrong. Only good happens. One associate comes, sees the practice, likes it, says, this is a great fit for me. I'd like to move forward. Or even better, they say, I can't do a crown prep in 45 minutes like your dentist here. Or I just don't know if this type of environment with like 15 team members and me is the right fit. And then you can graciously part ways. You as the practice owner, see what questions they're asking, see their attitude. This gives you an opportunity to see if it's the right fit for you. So I always like to deliver immediate value up front. I always like you to think of everything that I produce, everything I share as segments, like Lego blocks. I'm a big Lego fan. We have Legos in our house now. I step on them just like the olden days. So think of this as a Lego block, the first checklist for your success. Create a dental practice observation-based boot camp. I put practice in there twice on purpose. Dental practice observation-based boot camp before you hire an associate or say yes to a job. What I also like to do, whether I'm on Zoom with 1,000 people, 10 people, one person in front of someone, 500 people, 5 residents, is just give a pause for you to ask questions. So what questions can I answer about this checklist for success? I would love for you to put them into the chat about the dental practice observation-based boot camp. Okay, awesome. So moving forward, the next part of your checklist, just remember, if you would like to look at our jobs, I'm sorry, I can't see this, text jobs at 215-543-6454. Or if you'd like to learn how to hire an associate, text hire to 215-543-6454. Is this position a car or a boat? Such an important question for you to ask yourself. Know your why, car or boat. Let me explain. A car position is a need position. It's often replacing an existing associate with a full schedule. This could be part-time or full-time, but a need position means that you had someone doing the job and they are moving on. Let me give you a story. I had an amazing associate who worked with us full-time 4 days a week. This amazing associate decided to become a periodontist. Why? Because I told her being a periodontist is a really, really, really good career. So she got into a perio program and she was going to leave our position in 3 months on good terms. So it was up to me to replace this associate with a full schedule. A car is a need. A boat is a want. People often sell their car before they sell their boat before they sell their car. Now, a boat position is a wants-based position. There is nothing wrong with a wants-based position. Let's think of our dental practice production like one of my favorite foods, pizza, a little easier to understand than nachos. Pizza has 8 slices. Let's say you're growing and your production going 9, 10 slices, and you're eating these 10 slices. You're stressed, checking hygiene, doing stuff, but you're eating those 10 slices and you're doing $1.5 million a year and you're making $600,000 a year in this story. And you bring on an associate where you're going to be sharing that pizza with that associate, and your income is going to initially decrease because then there's an expense to pay the associate for the production, the associate's assistants. There's more team involved. There's more team expense involved. But you might say, great, if I go from 600 to 500, that's the best. If I don't have to check all these hygiene patients and drive myself nacho nuts. But if you live a life where you need $600,000 to live your life and you add an associate, you may make yourself financially frustrated. So I would love for you guys to understand this dynamic. It's one of the main things I see when things do not go well is the difference between the car and a boat position. And I would love to answer some questions. If you're watching online and you have a question or you're watching on demand about car versus boat, just text me at this number, text 215-543-6454. Say you got a question. I got this phone on me at all times. It's one of our text platforms, and we'll be glad to answer that for you. So I do a fair amount of speaking to people. I'm a dentist. I'm a Dr. Nacho. I speak at courses. I do these things. I really enjoy it. And one of my favorite pieces on learning how to speak is by Patrick Winston, How to Speak. It's a great bit on YouTube. And he talks about the empowerment promise, and he spells it right. I misspelled it. So you guys probably notice, hey, you're a dentist. Something's misspelled there. Just go back and fix it. No problem. So one of the things is don't overly judge yourself on stuff that is not going to have a huge impact. Definitely judge yourself if you're running 3 hours behind as an associate and you are not judge yourself. Definitely reevaluate if you're running 3 hours behind as an associate and you're messing up the whole schedule. Reevaluate that. You don't have to cry, but say to the office team, hey, I'm sorry that this happens. How can this not happen again? If you're doing a composite and you don't have tertiary anatomy on there and it doesn't matter because it's an 18 occlusal, that may be time to stop and move forward. Get to goodish before you move. Get to goodish and say to yourself, is this enough for this procedure? I've often seen associates drive themselves nacho nuts trying to do something so perfect like in dental school that literally nobody cares about. Nobody cares about tertiary anatomy on a number 31 occlusal. If you have the time to put that in and you love it, great. If it's going to make the whole schedule fall behind, not so great. But I want to deliver actionable tools and a systematic checklist for hiring an associate dentist to start the journey to doubling this. Start the journey. Your happiness, your sanity, and your profit. Your happiness, your sanity, and your profit. If you're in this chat, and you happen to be, and you can play along at home like Sesame Street, which one's most important to you? As a practice owner, someone looking for a job, what's most important to you? The profit, the sanity, or the happiness? So I'd love for you to share that in the chat. If you could share that in the chat with me. So when you give a treatment plan presentation or when you talk to dentists or anyone, always review what you talked about. And Patrick Winston says to get back on the bus of paying attention. So some of you guys, he said 20% of people are zoned out of any presentation. Maybe that happens when you're doing a treatment plan presentation. Maybe that happens when you're talking to your team. So remind them. One, we talked about develop a dental practice boot camp, observational boot camp to make sure your place is the right fit for you and your associate is the right fit for your practice. Number two, know your why. Is your associate position a car or a boat, a need versus a want? Number three, be able to genuinely and authentically explain the 3 M's: morale, money, and mentorship. What is the morale like at this job? Yes, they'll be able to see that through their observational time, but also it's up to you as the practice owner to explain it to them. We've had team that's been here for 20 years. They know everybody. We've had team that's been here for only 2 years. They're new. That's going to be a challenge. Don't say struggle, say challenge. Don't say thing that's not good, say hurdle. Okay. Use words that share the energy, the realistic energy of what happens there. The money, if you're going to do a daily safety net guarantee, or what I like to call a guaranteed salary with a bonus with production or collection based bonuses, excuse me, a guaranteed salary. Someone said that in my own Facebook group. I thought that was a great way to put it. What's the money like in this position? And what's the mentorship? Be authentic about it. Are you going to be on site with them? So if they have a problem scanning a crown and you're an expert scanning, you can walk in the operator and do it. Is that a thing? Share that. If it's not a thing and they're at your satellite office, say, hey, you could call me on the phone, you can FaceTime me, share what the mentorship looks like. If they're going to be, if your associates can be all alone in some satellite practice, you got to talk about there's not going to be a lot of hands-on mentorship. Is that comfortable for them? Because mismanaged expectations, golden nacho tip, mismanaged expectations is what leads to problems. When it does not meet what they thought. Kira Den is an awesome leader, Mark Costas, these are people that I admire and help me with my leadership. The key to success in life is me. The key to success in life is managing expectations. Now let's talk about what procedures you expect the associate to do. Fundamental chips, fillings, crowns, night guards, restoring implants. Think of the fundamental chips as something you do not need a tremendous amount of specialty knowledge, advanced knowledge to know, because if there's not enough fundamental chips for an associate in your practice, it's often difficult for them to meet their guaranteed salary, for them to be confident. So you might say, I refer out all my endo. You can't just have an associate come in and do all this endo if they don't have endodontist skills, and not many do. So what you need to evaluate is, what are the procedures I want the associate to do? I need to do most of the time. Then, of course, dentistry is supposed to be fun. MBF must be fun. Maybe there's a chance to learn to place implants. Maybe there's a chance to do some endo. Maybe there's a chance to do Invisalign and clear aligners, cosmetic dentistry, the salsa toppings, the extra guac, the spicy jalapenos. Share that. But if you went and got nachos and it was a whole plate of jalapenos with one chip, you'd be like, these are not normal nachos. Make sure the plate you are building for your associate makes sense to them. This is how you'll be able to build an associate that they might be growth minded. They might be stability minded. Maybe you need someone to cover a maternity leave at one of your practices. That's not necessarily a growth minded position. Maybe you bought a practice that where the dentist only did restorative dentistry and you want someone to place implants. That could be a growth minded position, but make sure you identify the procedure toppings you expect from this associate. Is there a buy-in treatment plan? What is the medium range treatment? It's a short, medium, and long-term plan. Do you need to offer buy-in to get buy-in from your associate dentist? Not necessarily. There may be associates who have spouses that make a lot of money and are very stable, and they don't want anything to do with owning a dental practice. And then there's others where if there's no buy-in plan, they're gone in 6 months. You know what there's this like crazy way that you can find out what the answer is to this from your associate. You can ask them. Just say, hey, what kind of like short, medium, and long-term plans do you have? Like, I'm always looking to evaluate ABC, always be creative. But if there is no buying opportunity, don't say there might be one. If you need someone to buy in 6 months to your practice, don't say you can do it whenever you want. This is a very gray feeling-based area where I encourage you to be authentic and transparent. Share your story. It doesn't have to go into tremendous detail. What you say to one dentist will make them scared and not want to work for you. And you could say the same thing to another dentist and they would want to sign up tomorrow. You don't know until you authentically share it. But if I was in this situation and, you know, I'll give the authentic for our practice, there's not really an opportunity for anyone to buy in soon to our practice. So I don't say no buy-in ever. Here's what I say. Our goal is to create a group of dentists where we all work together really well and we have multiple associates. Right now we have 2 locations. We don't anticipate any more owners for these 2 locations, right? That's authentic. But if there was a 3rd location, maybe there could be an opportunity, a creative opportunity for us to buy that with an associate if they want to. But there's also a track for you to just live your best associate life. And if there's time for you to move on to owner and practice later, great. We hope you learn from us. Be authentic. Just be yourself, share your story in a positive way, and you're going to find that right fit for you that will help you double your happiness, double your profit, double your sanity. The profit part is going to come later. Okay. The profit part is going to come later. The way to double profit is patient-centered, productive procedures, patient-centered, profitable procedures, restoring implants, doing procedures that aren't as affected by insurance. And it takes relationships with patients to do that. That's why doubling the profit takes the longest, but doubling your sanity doubling your happiness can be super soon. If you're checking 18 hygiene patients a day and someone checks 9, you're probably going to be a happier dentist. So how do we avoid the WTF? Why these fail associateship relationships? Why these fails? We talked about mismanaged expectations. Let's review that. If you have an associate who says, I really need to make $300,000 a year, and you say, our guaranteed salary is $175, but you could make $300 a year, but they only get to $200, they're going to have mismanaged expectations. Not knowing your true why, mislabeling a car and boat position is a big why these fail. Not being invested in the morale of the associate. Morale is such an important thing. Money's important, morale is more important. This doesn't have to be team building hikes. It can be simple as, let's take some time together on Zoom to go over treatment plans. I'll do it at night. Let's jump on Zoom and go over treatment plans. Let's take some time for you to just share with me stuff that's going on in the practice. Going well, what could go better? What's a stop doing, start doing, keep doing list. That's one of our consultants, Carol Killer, gave us that. And also being too TSD, that's so dentist about money. If you're a practice owner and you say, I'm not going to let my associate do any of the productive procedures, and even if their patient needs their implant to restore it, I'm going to take it. It's not a relationship builder. If your associate has a patient that needs a fixed hybrid and they've never done it, well, it would be totally appropriate to manage that case yourself. Maybe you could train the associate when you do it. Maybe they could be part of the procedure. Patient experience has to come first. But if you're too that's so dentist, too nickel and dime-esque about the exact money, that's also a why these fail type of position. Good. I want to finish up with some Nacho acronyms. We have someone in the chat said, work 3 days a week in the summer and 4 in the winter. Patient gave me a plaque, find a job you love and you never work a day in your life. Awesome message. Thanks for sharing that. So let's just finish up with some Nacho acronyms. And they are ABC, always be creative, always be caring, always be connecting. MBF, must be fun. ROI, relationships, opportunities, impact. JBN, just be nice. TSD, that's so dentist. AATI, always about the impact. PON is one where projective negativity. I'm never going to find a job that's going to be good for me. All these young associates, they don't want to work hard. That's projective negativity. Don't fall into that trap. It's easy to get frustrated, but stay consistent. ABC, always be consistent in your goals of doubling your happiness, your profit, your sanity. Dental offices are people places, not pizza places. So don't think that you can just plug in an associate dentist. You bought a practice, the older dentist is leaving, you're going to plug in this dentist. That is not how this works. It's going to take a tremendous amount of support, onboarding, mentorship, growth. If that's not your thing, don't get associates. You can work by yourself and be super productive. You have to deal with that end of this. If you want to have associates to grow and double your profit, double your sanity, double your happiness, these are hopefully actionable tools for you to do that. JDS, just do something. Everything that matters needs a system and everything matters. Really enjoyed sharing this. These are some of my supporting sports star stories where you say these are all different types of team players with all different types of good parts and not so good parts. What Jay Wright's one of my favorite coaches, the Tim Duncans, the Steffi Grafs. It doesn't mean Barry Sanders retired early. Think of dentisting like a career where maybe you do it for 20 years and retire. Maybe you do it for 50 years. Who's going to be on your team? How are you going to succeed? So while I wrap up here with this group, I want to share with you guys. I really appreciate hanging in. Would be glad to answer some questions from the people in the chat here. I made a little checklist for you guys to show. If you have any questions, people here, I'd love to answer them. It's one of my favorite things to do. Someone said, help, I need an associate. Be glad to help you. Let me take my background off a second here. Good. So this is one of my checklists here. Know your why, car versus boat. Develop your team of basketball advisors, people who can help you, accountant, attorney, consultant. What procedures are you going to have the associate do? Remember that plate of the chips, how much money they'd be able to make, their morale, their mentorship, what's the medium range plan. And if you want to text DJC to 215-543-6454, I would love to help you. So I really enjoyed this part of how to hire an associate, how to make good decisions. Hope you enjoyed our preliminary show with Bob D about dental insurance. We have our Travis show coming up. Text Travis to 215-543-6454 for My goal with Dental Nachos and Dentist Job Connect is to help you go from crying on the inside to a happier dentisting human. And we're so thrilled to have insurance guru, Dr. Travis Campbell, my friend. Just text Travis to 215-543-6454. Thanks so much for being here, guys.